Okay, picture this. The night is dark. You can hear things moving out there, just beyond the light, waiting. Your tiny campfire is sputtering, and it's the only thing keeping that darkness from swallowing you whole. This is Embers, a solo game all about survival. So let's get right into it. The whole game, everything you do, it all just boils down to this one desperate goal. You're not trying to conquer some new land or slay a big bad boss. Nope. You're just trying to hold on, to make it through the night until the sun comes up. So how do you actually do that? Well, it all revolves around the campfire. And I mean that literally. This isn't just some cool set dressing. It is the absolute mechanical heart of the game. Now, what's so cool here is how the setup itself tells the story. See that deck of cards in the middle? Those are the fire cards. That's not just your draw pile, that's your health. That's your timer. Every single card you lose from that deck is like a spark from the fire winking out. And those 8 spaces around it, that's your whole world. That's the tight, cramped battlefield where this whole struggle for survival is going to take place. The good news is you're not totally alone out here. You've got a team of 5 different heroes, and they've all got their own unique skills. But here's the catch. Space is tight. Only 4 of them can be on guard at any one time. The 5th? They're resting back in the tent, waiting for the moment you need to swap them in, which usually happens when one of their friends goes down. The game has this really distinct pulse, a kind of rhythm that perfectly captures the feeling of a long, desperate night watch. Let's break down what a single turn actually looks like. Every single turn, and I mean every turn, follows these 4 steps. It's a cycle. First, new threats appear. Then, you get your chance to react. After that, you have to face the consequences of whatever is left. And finally, you get a moment to regroup before it all starts over again. It's a really tense loop. And this is how that first phase plays out. You flip cards from your campfire deck, your own life force, and they become these awful monsters. They try to show up at certain spots, but if you've got a hero there, they don't just stop. No, they start creeping clockwise around the circle, looking for any open spot to attack from. It creates this immediate, shifting threat that you've got to deal with right away. So, after those monsters crawl out of the dark, it's your turn. And this right here is where the game's real genius comes into play. It's this super clever puzzle that's all about how you use your hero's actions. Okay, so each of your heroes gets 2 action points. And this is where you're going to feel the pressure. You're always making these tough calls between surviving the next 5 minutes, like using defend to block an attack, and thinking about the long run, using actions like forage or promote to get stronger. But the one action that makes this game's puzzle so special is the maneuver. But hang on, before we get to moving around, we have to talk about foraging. This is so important. This isn't just about getting a useful card back. You are literally feeding the fire. Remember, that deck is your life. The forage action is how you throw another log on the fire, pushing back the moment it goes out for good. It is directly tied to stopping you from losing the game. All right, check this out. Every single hero moves in a unique way, and it creates this amazing positioning puzzle. The fire tender here has probably my favorite move. They can just leap right over the campfire to the exact opposite side. It's so thematic, it's really powerful, and it forces you to think a couple of steps ahead about where you need people to be. And the other heroes are just as cool. The defender can literally leapfrog over a whole line of his buddies to get across the camp. The scout needs a bit of a running start. They have to move into an empty space first before they can jump. So you're constantly playing this little positioning game, moving one hero out of the way just so another one can pull off their signature move. It's brilliant. Okay, so with all this fighting and jumping around, what are the actual stakes here? Let's get crystal clear on how you win, and maybe more importantly, how you lose. So monsters dish out 2 kinds of damage. See the claw marks? That's hero damage. A hero takes too much of that, they're knocked out and have to go recover in the tent. But that little fire icon? That's fire damage, and it's way scarier. For every point of that, you have to discard a card from the top of your campfire deck. It doesn't hurt your heroes, it hurts the fire. The fire itself is bleeding out. It is the fastest way to lose this game. But hey, it's not all doom and gloom. As the night gets darker, your heroes can actually get stronger. Remember that promote action we talked about? That long-term investment? Well, if you spend 2 action points, you can flip a hero over to their souped-up level 2 side. They get more health, better actions. It gives you this great feeling of progression, like you're becoming a more seasoned survivor as the night wears on. So, winning. How do you do it? Simple. You endure. Buried somewhere in that campfire deck is a night card that's tracking the hours. When you finally flip it and it says 1 hour until dawn, you know the end is in sight. You just have to survive one final, desperate turn. If you can make it through that, you've done it. You've survived. And losing? It's even simpler, and it's absolutely brutal. If you ever have to draw or discard a card from that campfire deck, and you can't, it's over. The fire has gone out. The darkness wins. So, when you put all these pieces together, the monsters, the actions, the fire, what does playing Embers actually feel like? Honestly, this quote just nails it perfectly. This game isn't just a mechanical puzzle, it's an atmospheric one. That tight little circle makes you feel trapped, and that word, claustrophobic, is so right. It really does feel like you and your team are desperately trying to coordinate in the dark, bumping into each other while these monsters are closing in from all sides. Ultimately, Embers gives you this incredibly tense, tactical, and deeply thematic challenge. It's a game where every single placement matters, every resource is precious, and it's all about just holding on for one more turn. The mechanics and the story are just perfectly woven together. So the only real question left is, can you do it? Can you keep those embers glowing until dawn?